So we, I guess like so we left the Verbo. We took the picture. That was all fun. We slept there that night. We woke up in the morning. What time? Because that was still early start, right? Oh no, that was game day.
That was game day.
That was game day.
So game didn't start officially till 7. We had
PM.
Yeah, 7 p.m. We had most of the day to get everyone who was arriving on site that day in and set up. I was prioritizing trying to get like community spaces in order and get our space fully in game before the all March meeting.
And we didn't go there at all the entire time.
We didn't hang out back there much. But we did have it to where there weren't like totes and things around this year.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the vibe. Like it was really cool going
nice.
back there.
There just wasn't a lot of reason for us to be hanging out back there.
No, like I'm not arguing for it. Yeah, no, it wasn't really because like all the party was up front, and I enjoyed being up front. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if the conversation pit had stayed back there, we would have been back there more.
But
I liked it better up front, combined with the den, especially since we were supposed to have rain. We wanted to do like shades and things and provide community spaces for people to get out of the rain. Granted, those shades never happened.
Not to lack of effort.
Not from lack of effort, just lack of hands and time.
Yep. I mean, I think we still did really amazing with what we were able to do.
I loved that we had just a nice space up front with like rugs and blankets and pillows just kind of laid out for people to gather around.
Mm-hmm. Was that the den or?
It ended up being a combination between the den and the conversation pit. So the den really ended up just being the bar section, and then everything else was the conversation pit, except like the one shelf thing that was in the back.
Yeah.
Which was also technically den.
I didn't interact with the dinner conversation pretty much at all, but I really liked the vibe. It was a really interesting vibe.
Yeah,
like right there by gate, people hanging out. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It helps keep players from wandering further back into the tent city from other cultures where we don't necessarily want them.
Mm-hmm.
Because
from a security standpoint.
Yeah. Not like any shade on anybody, just like for peace of mind for players, it's better if we keep
as well.
In and out of game. Yeah. It's better if we keep people who are coming kind of to that main central area and not back into tents unsupervised. Because that's how thievery happens, and we don't want that. And it's why I think, to my understanding, most Vatican don't typically like go super far into other camps either.
Right.
I mean, I'll tell my story later, but I went to every person's camps.
I didn't say you didn't. I said super far into them.
Yeah. It works for your character too because of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like other players just venturing into the camp like
unattended.
Unattended. That wouldn't normally happen anyways.
No, that's fair. That's a fair
Especially
point.
not amongst the Vatican. Like,
we're paranoid a little bit.
Certain clans are.
Yeah.
Hi. That's us.
We had to notice.
But yeah, no, it was a really great idea. Just pretty much combining them two, and then honestly, like making it a little bigger and like turning it out to where it kind of, it's like a glove, like kind of catches everyone as they come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it also helps keep the party in the front, away from the sleeping areas.
Right.
It's not perfect. You still hear everything, but you know, as long as people aren't shouting, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
It sounds like he's making some tea or something.
Tea's here, cup there. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Blue.
Oh, he needs blue.
I made blue.
Oh, that's right. We made so many people drink the blue.
Yeah, we did make a lot of people.
You got hydrate or dihydrate.
Yeah, literally. Temperatures ended up actually being much higher than we were told.
Double.
Yeah.
Like we were told like mostly 40s roughly, and it was like 80 degrees.
Yeah, and then it ended up being.
Was it really 80?
It was 80. Yeah, there was a couple
it was like
of days.
85 at one point during Saturday day 2.
I had to take a lot of my gear off.
Yeah. Yep.
And then put it right back on in the evening because it was so cold.
It would get so cold so fast.
Their mornings are freezing. Goodness me.
I'm so glad I got that coat and the hat and the mittens.
Yeah, I had 6 blankets. 6 blankets, and I was still a little cold. I didn't get warm until it started getting warmer, and then I had like an hour of sleep, and then we got up and made breakfast for everyone. Coffee. Oh my gosh, the coffee. Was it Fowler? Fowler, shout out to you, my guy. Thank you so much for bringing all that ground espresso. Holman and I figured that stuff out, and we just, we would not have survived without it. I'm just saying that.
You might as well just walk in front of it, dude. Yeah. You could have half the screen anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we get camp largely in order. We're about 2 hours before the All March meeting, and I snag everyone in the Haraffron so that we can do a couple group photos. Thank you, Astrid, for taking those. I'm very excited to see them. I want to do that every year now, I think.
Oh, I think so.
I very much like having that in advance, because then we're not worrying about getting pictures and things. My kit for that is the out-of-date kit, because I waited until the All thing after the All March meeting to do my full reveal.
Yeah. But now we have a better plan for next year. Yay!
Yeah, now I don't have to stay in my tent between them. Not that I spent any time just sitting in there. I was literally putting things on the entire time I was in that tent. Because the All March meeting ran much longer than we anticipated. We thought it was going to be a briefing and they were going to go over like the important things, but it included multiple skits. I get it. I do. It's fine. But Dwayne and I were losing our marbles.
It was so funny. It was so funny seeing you all. But like, I understand.
We had studied these rules forward and backwards, inside and out, and to be going over the extreme basics again was
very redundant
for us. We understand why we were doing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I have so many other things to be stressing about. This is not one of them that I would like to be doing right now.
Yeah. The idea of the skits isn't a bad idea, of like showing a example of a practical example of it. It felt like Vacation Bible School, right? It felt like
something.
Yeah, like a little kids event sort of thing.
Yeah. As someone who just kind of even briefly went over the rules, it was still like it felt redundant and unnecessary, but I understand, like you said, I understand why they did it.
Not everyone reads the rules and actually follows them, but some people need a basic explanation.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was also in the sun.
We were
in shade. We were great.
Because that was what it was. Yeah.
The Vatican were like, oh, we're gonna go all the way up over there to the side of the stage where there's shade.
Because we're all wearing fur.
Yeah, we're all in like heavy.
Because we were told it was supposed to be 30, 40 degrees that day.
Yeah, I would have loved it.
It was 75 to 80. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I think the highest we were supposed to get was like 75, and then it ended up being a full 10 degrees higher than that.
Yeah.
And like 75 is warm for the amount of things that we wear.
Yeah, 80. Oh my goodness, that was like last year.
So oddly enough, thank goodness for the wind tunnel effect that happens in that area of the fields on the farm, because it was just constantly windy. It made it to where we weren't getting heat exhaustion.
Yeah, well, it turned out the reason why it was so windy is because it was blowing in a flood storm.
That too, yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So the whole Tiger Springs, the area we were in was called Terrapin Hill Farms. It's a lovely wedding venue site.
It's gorgeous.
It's so
absolutely gorgeous.
It apparently has 300 acres.
Yeah.
I also feel like we should preface this right now. This, like, just for safety reasons like that, it wasn't the site's fault. It flooded. There were multiple ways like, not at all is their fault. So, this was a 40-year record.
Yeah. This was a once-in-a-generation kind of storm. It rained more in 24 hours than it had...
In 40 years.
In 40 years. We hit beyond the 40-year floodplain.
Yeah.
So it hit the floodplain and then kept going.
Yeah. Within a short, like you said, 48 hours.
Yeah.
So like, I just like we'll get to the story later, and like I want like for like storytelling reasons I want to put it for later, but just safety reasons like stuff like that.
There was nothing anyone could have done to predict this.
Not at all.
Yeah, especially since in the weather it said that it was only supposed to rain for a couple of hours, not 2 whole days.
Yeah.
2 days straight.
There was a chance of a tornado, and there was a watch, but then it was dismissed by 10 a.m. that day.
That's because I yelled at the sky.
Yeah, we should probably pin this table.
I want to pin this for now. It's just like
yeah.
talk about the site. No blame should go for the site.
Yeah.
They're great people, and they are hosting an event this fall.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings, which has
Lord of the Rings
1,800 tickets.
1,800 tickets, and they're $400 a pop with no food.
Is it $400?
$400 a pop with no food. And if you want to rent a tent, guess how much it is? It's like another $200.
Oh,
I did not know that.
No.
Wild.
I did. I thought it was cheaper than that.
No.
Holy crap!
No.
It's anyway. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But the site we at was lovely. You know, it was a beautiful site.
Yeah.
It really was.
We definitely
gorgeous.
didn't utilize all of site, but they chose to do that on purpose because we're not super like big enough to fill that space. And then the place where they originally wanted the Vatican to camp when we still were using the majority of the site wasn't suitable for tent camping, so they ended up reducing it in scope.
I wouldn't mind a larger footprint. I wouldn't mind it taking longer to get to different camps because like it feels more like an adventure, and there's more chances for bandits to get you, for other players to attack.
Yeah.
But there's a point where it's too far.
And
the original layout, we were supposed to be like past the pond.
Oh.
By a ways. So where all 4 of us were camped was supposed to be 2 campsites, and then you were supposed to go like past, like up the hill past where the bazaar ended up being, and then further back.
Well, yeah,
I think that's
that
the
may
middle
have been a
ground.
little much.
Yeah, it would have been pretty
Yeah.
far.
There's a whole lot of things with it. I'm not saying it was bad either way. It could have been a bit bigger. But I'm not complaining.
It would have
Play a
been really
little bit.
difficult to do that.
Yeah. Hopes and dreams. Regardless of all that,
It's still a valid
Yeah.
point.
It just would have been difficult with the way we have to do things because we have 4 cultures. If there were like 3, you might have been able to space it out a little bit better and take a little bit more room. But because you've got 4 groups you're trying to space out, it makes it a little bit more difficult just with that particular site.
the site was a lot. It was a lot bigger than last year. It was a huge improvement.
A lot less hills. It was so nice. Still hilly.
But they were enjoyable hills.
They were enjoyable hills.
They were not death traps.
Yes.
My whole thing is
Well,
like.
there was a lot of
There was the
holes.
one.
There
were
was a
so
lot
many
of
holes. Yeah.
There's pros and cons to both of it. This is an interesting discussion. It's pros and cons because like I could just go out the gate and I could both hear and see if some crap was going on.
Yeah.
You know, if the Wyverns were attacking the Hadrians, if the Vatican were attacking the Wyverns, I could just look across and see a large group of people. Not like I couldn't see any faces, but I could see that there was something going on. Which, to be fair, is a benefit. Because, like, oh, something's going on, I want to join that.
Yeah.
Or I want to stay away.
Or stay away. Yeah, that's fair. There is also a detriment if you're trying to be sneaky about something. That's an interesting discussion. That's a really interesting discussion.
Anyway,
Anyway.
after the all March meeting, we come back to camp,
Oh, we talk about that, yeah.
and it's already like 6.
Yeah.
And after 6, I think it's like 6:30 by the time we all roll back into camp.
Yeah.
And the crones are like, well, we were supposed to do something at 6, so now we gotta like hurry up and get it done. And we all kind of pull back into the Haraffin corner, and I go and I start putting it on the full assembly, because again, I was in my old kit. And none of my clanmates have seen the full look. I haven't even gotten to see it all together at this point in time because the hair that I do for it is very complicated and very involved. It takes us several hours to get done. I didn't have the fur mantle. I didn't finish the armor until a week before game.
Oh my gosh. The stress, though. I'm not even. I barely made anything for my kit, and I'm stressed out for her.
Yeah. But it was just like finishing touches. I had the
Yeah.
construction part done. It was just like adding fur and adding a little fancy front panel thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all like short tasks. It just didn't get done till the very tail end, because that's how long it took me to get everything correct and sealed and things. So I spend the entire time while the crones are doing their scream and the video are getting initiated until the horn sounds for the all thing, scrambling to get my kit together. And Magus, bless her, was able to help me get all of this on, because I realized very quickly that I was going to struggle by myself and I just did not have time.
It was a good 20 minutes.
I needed more.
Yeah.
I needed more.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
Honestly, I don't know.
I was in my tent. I know you were hanging out in the area because I heard you talking.
I think
you were just chilling.
I was just chilling. Yeah, I just needed a cloak and a hood. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
And we were cooking. We were making dinner.
I know you were in the kitchen during the all thing.
Yeah.
But at that point, I had stolen Astrid and Hallman because they were in our section of camp.
Right.
Because we needed to parade out together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we had already gotten dinner started, and then so that's why I was able to like take off, or they were able to take off, and I was able to just kind of watch stuff. And then they eventually came back, and it was really nice getting to be able to do that and still watch the all thing. Because like one of my worries was that I wasn't really going to get to participate a lot, but also one of the advantages was I got to talk to everybody. And that was a lot of fun.
It was a good spot. The kitchen was in a good spot, all things considered, because you were close enough that everyone would just go to you and talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you and you also got to see a whole lot of crap that was going on.
Yep.
Yep. I think next year we turn you like 90 degrees and keep you in that same corner.
Yeah, yeah. And like maybe bring the den just like a little closer. I don't know.
I don't know.
To where I can like yell at you, or you can yell at me. Like, yeah, we got a thing. We have a thing.
It kind of makes sense though for the den, the tavern kind of thing, you know, to be like next to the kitchen.
I'm sure things will get like squished around. We have still more decompression time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not near done with like the full thing. I'm still extremely raw with certain topics to have people criticizing and not saying, oh, we did a good job at all.
Yeah.
And to just have them say, well, we could do so much better. It can be hurtful to hear that when you've put so much work, like what we've done, into this camp.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be in anyone like this. If like let's go for all of the reckoning for every single thing. Like this year was amazing.
Yeah, we did such a
this
good
was
job.
So
I'm
much
so
fun.
Proud of all of us.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But,
like the only way to go up is up.
Yeah, but to go into like the lobbies this last week and have people just critique and criticize and not
do it constructively.
Not do anything in a way that is like, oh, it was so good. I have some ideas for next year. Like, I wonder how like these could be implemented. And even to go so far as say things that are just
hurtful.
All things considered, the all meet.
the all thing.
All thing.
The all meet.
The y'all thing.
Buddy, you've been here 2 years and you think we say hoot.
Hoot!
No.
Okay, for the lone wine bottle floating down the river, let's all give it a quiet hoot.
No. Ow.
Oh. Hoorah! No.
Anyway, so the all thing was going on.
Yeah, so they blow the horn and we assemble. I literally like come out of my tent.
It was really cool seeing you come out of the kid because I was there for that. I know that. I see you come out and be like, okay, it's all coming together now.
Yep. And then everybody falls in behind. Fjoller and Hallman.
Should we also explain the body?
Getting there. Right now.
Okay.
So, Fjoller and Hallman bring the body that we're presenting, who is the mother of Magus, who was a crone. So, the idea is that we're returning her to be with the crones, to be honored in the way that they would be honored, not in the way that the Hrafen would be. So, we're concealing this body during the entire all thing, and we're the group that goes absolute dead last.
Yeah, I had my cloak out. I was holding my cloak. Like, I was trying to block it with my cloak to do it.
Yeah, it was
and
really
then you
late.
also stood, like, even further away from us later.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It was really amazing to see, like, when you guys entered, like, you can see the energy shift.
Yeah.
So, all the Rafton, besides Griff, hiked up there, carrying the body, went up to the, like, explain the series of events. We walk up there, everyone else was talking, Revna had to go up first, had to do her thing for Shaligar.
Yeah.
To go for the Shaligar. And so Revna was chilling with us, for the most part, as a Rafton. She was an Honorary. She is an Honorary.
Yeah, she's been one since last year. She's one of Volley's closest friends outside of the Hrafen, along with Solvi and Olm. Now she's also very close with Herf.
Yes. Herf's a homie.
Yeah. After certain events.
After certain events. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, yeah.
We'll
Gosh,
get to that
huge
later.
shout out to Herf and Dwayne. Just amazing
so
people.
Good. Just
Oh my
across the board.
gosh.
Across the board.
In
They
and out
gave
of
so
game.
much. The hotels and stuff like
That's
that. Thank you. There's a t-shirt gonna be made of that. I love that. It's gonna be little chibi Herf.
Chibi Herf with the
Oh
the
my gosh.
mace
Yeah.
and the little ponytail, and then he's gonna be chasing Dwyn in chibi form with her riding gambeson, and just I want to do the skull. I just want to have it be the skull.
Macaroni!
Macaroni!
Oh gosh.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. There's so many later parts. We've been like, all meat. Finish the all meat.
Yes, the all thing.
All thing.
So
The y'all thing.
No, all thing. He's been doing this 2 years and he can't keep his term straight.
What's up, Valley?
It's his accent.
That's it.
So we go last because I requested it out of game ahead of time so that we could present this body, and if it ran over, it wasn't as big of a deal because they wanted us to keep it fairly short. So all the other clans introduce themselves and say why they're here and da-da-da-da-da. Frankly, I really
Lohan?
don't remember half of the all thing.
I don't really remember much of it either. Because like we talked about it in the hotel conference room, which is apparently a tradition. But Lohan had the script, and
Yeah.
then you were going like,
No, Volley was like, oh my god, why on earth are you pulling out a script right now? Just say who you are and why you're here. Why?
Lohan was
she's
great
also,
this year.
like-
I like Lohan.
She's also stressed about the fact that she now has to introduce herself as Jarl very soon. So, sorry again. I love you, buddy. But she was not happy. And the group gets done before us, and Runar calls us up.
And like, keep in mind, we're like, you know, the isolationist clan. People are supposed to hate us.
Not hate us, but like we are
Stigmatism.
So we're
Stigma.
essentially thought of very similar to like the boogeyman
Yeah, they're
prior
very
to
wary
us
of
showing
us.
up. So essentially, the idea is, oh, the Hrafen aren't real. They're a scary bedtime story you tell kids to get them to behave.
Especially the Hrafen kitchen.
now.
It's not a story.
So, Volley. No, this wasn't Volley. I walk up to the front, and I'm trying my to channel Volley because I've been struggling to get in her headspace the entire all thing, which is why I only remember about half of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up there, and I introduce her, and as soon as I finish introducing her, there she is.
Flip.
It was like a light came on in my brain, and I was no longer me, but I was Volley.
Flip.
That was the most I've struggled getting into character with her in a very long time. But, you know, external stressors, and it took longer to get into Kit, and I didn't have as much time as I wanted to like, sink into her and give her the time that she needed to get in the right headspace. But apparently, according to Olm, I did look very scary when I walked up, and I'm very proud of that. And I really need to hear somebody else's story about the all thing at some point, because, again, I only remember like half of it. But I said my piece about how we are the Haraffren, and we're here to, like, reintegrate. And then I say, as our proof of our intention, we have returned something which has been lost. Magus, will you present her? So Magus comes forward and presents a scroll to Solvi and the crones as the body is brought forward into the middle of the all thing. As Solvi reads the scroll, I remember a couple of times we did the weird sign for mourning. And it was so good. But a lot of people didn't catch it, apparently, that I've talked to. I haven't talked to too many people about the whole thing. But I think we did a really good job with that very subtle thing, even though you were avoiding us and hiding the whole time.
Look at the...
Yeah. So after we finish presenting the body and all of that is done, we go back to our spot. And Runar says, I have one more bit of business for the Haraffren. And he presents Volley with a writ. You can show a picture of this later, or whatever, if you want. But essentially, a writ is something that they give to players in-game as recognition. And this one in particular is a writ of honor. But it's not addressed to Volley. It's addressed to the clan in its entirety. This is the golden ticket for the Haraffren to be fully reintegrated into the fold. That I had no idea was coming.
No idea. It was secret the entire way.
It was secret the whole time. All knew. Volley did confront him about that. And he's like, of course I knew.
But yeah, Lunar, Hand of the Conager. And so yeah, it says that is from the Conager, which
Conager.
is...
Yeah,
Conager,
it is from
Conager.
the Conager.
From the...
From Gear.
Which is in lore is the closest analog is a king.
Yeah, Konagar is king.
Vatican are free people. Clans do whatever they want, but he's like for the most part the elected leader.
Yeah, he's kind of like an elected official. He represents the clans as a whole, but the clans also have the right at any point to say we don't want to do that.
Which also means they don't have any of the protections.
Yeah.
He's so Gear is not an actual person at all.
No,
He's just a story. He's
a non-player character.
Non-player NPC. Yeah, thank you. And not a physical one, because there's NPCs that are there, but he's a not there NPC.
He's an off-screen non-player character.
There you go. OS NPC.
That could also mean on-screen.
Anyway.
So yeah, Lunar is essentially basically
represents Gear's
interest, and it works since Lunar is a culture lead.
Yeah.
Regardless of all that, Griff wishes he could have been there with Valley to support her, doing both her first when she said, and then with the wit, because like he's so proud of her for being Valley is currently the bridge between the Raft and the other clans. It was Griff last year, because like he was the reason everyone got down, because of his father stuff and like that. But that is entirely Valley's role. That is her position right now. And to explain my story during the all thing, thank you, during the all thing, the y'all thing.
That's something totally different.
No, the y'all. What's up, y'all?
I'm gonna kick him.
Have a fish. Let's give you ammo. So since Griff has been one of the few people in the Rafton to travel the north, essentially being leaving the clan that was in isolation to travel around, and the logic is if the Rafton are the boogeyman, and are for the most part looked down upon, not down upon like in the sense of like the analog I hate using, but like it's basically like
we are akin to a cryptid is a good way to put it.
Cryptid, yeah.
Like people don't think we're real, so when someone goes, "Oh no, they're real," they're like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, and it's
but it's also some scary cryptid.
Scary cryptid and stuff like that. And there's also the whole thing of like us murdering a whole bunch of clans. It's not exactly a good image. And so for Griff's entire teenage to adulthood, from like I think in lore he left there when he was like 13, 14 is when he started. And then like he never associated himself with a Rafton outside. He always said he was from a different clan, just to protect himself and protect his father. And then now the Rafton's come back in the fold, he is in this weird position, like he's lied his entire life to protect himself, but now they come in the open, and especially with the writ now, he's so used to hiding it, now he doesn't have to. It's such a weird position. I am very proud that no one who actually like in character knew I was Rafton until like even player characters didn't know I was Rafton until like the Buffalo Wings place. I was like, so what clan actually are you? Oh, I'm Rafton, but you don't know that in character. So I did hide it very well, but because of the whole thing, like him hiding it, when he knew the Rafton was going to the all thing, he got his cloak, he got his hood, and he got this. I'll note, I was not copying the Riveneer. I had this idea way beforehand. He sold for me. But I went out there, I was just on the hood, and I was just like hiding my face, like I was like this, you know. No one really spoke to me about it. But Fiala spoke to me about it. We were standing there behind the everyone else, and just Fiala kind of looked at me like, so, what are you doing there, Griff? Chilling. Okay. But yeah, Griff wish he could have been there to support Valley, but it wasn't.
Didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right. No. And then like he was standing back there when the wit happened. And he was like, "Oh, I am alone in my own machinations."
Yeah. Did you see Volley almost cry and take a knee?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
After she got the writ and like went back to her spot, she read it, and literally, I like very distinctly remember tearing up and like almost taking a knee right then and there. Like I took like a wobbly half step or something and almost went down on one knee just because of the sheer emotion that overwhelmed the entire like moment. Because it was like the weight of the world came off her shoulders all at once.
To have that freedom to join the fold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to no longer have to worry about manually putting the pieces back together to where they were accepted, and to not have to worry about the threat of a knife in her back from fellow Vatterkin was so freeing. And then there's a picture of Anya and I in the pictures.
Yeah, but you sent it to me. Yeah,
you'll have to put it up. Yeah, but Anya and I have never met in game before, and in that photo, like you can very clearly see just like pure joy on both of our faces. And I was like, "What is this from? What was this?" And then I remembered it was when she welcomed Volley back into the fold.
That's nice. Makira did great taking all the pictures. She had a good eye for what was good content.